Hi everyone, welcome to Gig Harbor, Washington, where the anchor all began. We are standing here in front of a net shed, and for those of you who don't know what a net shed is, our town is an old fishing community, and back in the day, the fishermen would come off the water and bring their boats in and bring their nets into these net sheds to be repaired and get equipped and just get a little rest off the water. So we thought, what a great analogy for the anchor where it first began is this place where women of all ages can come to gather and be together and be restored and be encouraged. So we are excited right now to announce that this month we are going to begin to share an anchor moment with you. And an anchor moment is a time in your life when your faith has really been grounded and you've seen God at work for real. And we are thrilled that we are going to be able to share with you stories from women of all kinds of backgrounds and all ages, and our hope and prayer is that you would be encouraged.
Let's see, a little bit about me. I am a two-time cancer survivor. I'm married. I have 2 children. I was born and raised in San Diego, then moved and raised my family in Sammamish, and after my youngest graduated from high school, I moved to Gig Harbor, and that's where I met Katie. And most of my friends here in Gig Harbor are through my connections with Katie and the Anchor. That's another story for another day. So a little bit about my faith journey. I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic elementary school, junior high school, and all-girls Catholic high school. My father went to Mass every day. My mother as well. She still does tours at the mission in San Diego de Alcala. And so I've always had faith in my life. I've never felt like I have questioned that. We just got back from a very lovely trip to the Bahamas. My husband and I and some friends rented a catamaran and sailed around the Exumas. And while we were there, it was very extremely windy. And I am not comfortable with that. So I was a little bit afraid, and very much afraid. I'm going to go with very extremely afraid. But one thing I did do, I learned from a friend. She taught me a mantra that would help me when or will help anybody, and to just hold your hand to your heart and say, I am loved, I am safe, I am protected. And so I did that over and over and over again for 6.5 hours while we were in 24 knot winds. And I also looked up to the Lord, looked up to the horizon and above, and it helped me just to, even though it was very choppy and very stormy, I felt safe, I felt protected, I felt like I wasn't in danger, and I could look up to the horizon and look up to the Lord and know that we were going to make it. It was a fabulous trip. The food was great, the friends we were with, but that 6.5 hours of very turbulent wind was a little too much. So my new mantra, I love it. Back in the day, my dad went to Price Club shopping, and he came home from Price Club with this chair. And my mother hated the chair. She thought it was hideous. And she said, we are not putting that ugly chair in my house. It does not go with anything in my house. And my dad said, this is God's chair, and the chair is staying. God needs a place to sit if he's going to come sit with us. So the chair is still at my mother's house. And we would bring it out for all the holidays. Whenever we had Easter, Thanksgiving, or Christmas, we would set an extra place setting and put God's chair there. And then I had cancer twice. So when I was 24 years old, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And when I was diagnosed, the God's chair moved into my bedroom and stayed there during my treatment. I had chemotherapy and radiation. And then I got married, and my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, and God's chair was moved into my dad's room, my mom and dad's room, and stayed there through his health journey. He passed away from lung cancer, but God's chair is still in my mother's house, and it has gone from room to room wherever God needed a place to sit. That's where God's chair was. And for the holidays, we bring out Post-it notes, and we put people's names that we're thinking of, and we put Post-it notes all over God's chair so that we can think of the people that we miss, that we wish were there, that are living or not living. And we use that as kind of a special reflection of God in our life and close family friends. My favorite Bible verse is Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds. Look at the birds of the air. They don't gather, they don't prepare for winter, yet God provides. And doesn't God love us more than He loves the birds? And so when I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, I really kind of looked at the birds outside all the time. And we had lots of bird feeders, and I just really reflected on that. And it was very helpful to me. Then fast forward 20 years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And again, that was really kind of a Bible verse that was very comforting to me. Look at the birds. I never questioned that I wouldn't be okay. I knew that I would be safe and loved and protected, and that God was with me because I could look at the birds. And so I'm very thankful for my faith and for that particular Bible verse.